All right, moving on to the MLB. This weekend we had the MLB All-Star festivities, basically the home run derby and the All-Star game. And in the home run derby, the winner was Pete Alonso. Only the third player to win it back to back since Griffin in '98 and '99, and Caceres in '13 and '14. So that's an impressive feat for those who give a rip. And then we had the All-Star game itself, which I need to start putting my money on the AL because I think they win this a lot more than the NL. They won the game 5-2. With the most talked about guy in the game right now in MLB, Otani, as the winning pitcher. And I guess they gave the loss to Burns, which that probably sucked because he. Okay, so they served him up the loss, and then they gave Hendricks the save. But the MVP of the game was Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Yes, that name probably sounds familiar to you. You probably knew his pops out here doing what he did. Oh, by the way, back to my point with the AL. The AL has won 8 straight All-Star games, so I know I wasn't tripping. So with that said, Jay, what was the most exciting part of MLB All-Star Weekend 2021?
Well, you know me. I'm a baseball guy, but in the grand scheme of things, in the sports landscape in general, I am not an all-star guy or a Pro Bowl guy. I generally just doesn't mean a whole lot to me because there's really no competitive use to these events. The NBA All-Star Game front and center, but the actual, I do care for the events of NBA All-Star Weekend with the 3-point shootout and the slam dunk contest and these type of things. The skills challenge, I think that's something innovative. I like what they got that in there now. I like the celebrity game. I find that a little bit more entertaining than the actual game where, you look at the scoreboard and look, oh, this team won 185 to 172. Well, that sounds realistic. So, but just on that scheme, just on that train of thought, I mean, I find the home run derby pretty compelling. It's entertaining, and the format that they did, they changed it up a few years ago, to where it's now a time thing. It used to be, you get 10 pitches, you hit a home run, the pitch doesn't count, so you keep hitting, but the 10 pitches that you don't jack out of the park, you out of luck. I think the time makes it a little more, it gives it a little more drama. Now you got guys, the Shohei Otani, Juan Soto first round matchup was really compelling. And now you got the time limit where Pete Alonso hits 35 home runs out the park in 3 minutes, which seems pretty ridiculous. I know they in there. It's not real pitching. They just laying him in there for him, but that's impressive. Also, I kind of in some ways expected this or expected some big numbers because it's Coors Field, and Coors Field, the ball just flies out the yard with that altitude that they have in there. So that certainly made for some entertainment. It also had, I kind of expected the top seed Otani to meet up with Joey Gallo, the big man from Texas. And those guys both got eliminated in the first round, so that was kind of interesting to see. And then you ended up having, a guy, Pete Alonso, kind of felt like a little bit of an afterthought. I don't feel like many people were talking about him, and he walks in here and now he's the back-to-back, home run derby champion. His last title being in 2019, because we know last year you had COVID, they didn't have any of the All-Star game stuff, so it is the back-to-back. But even though they separate by years, we're still getting back-to-back. And then also don't forget about the runner-up, the Orioles slugger Trey Mancini. Last year, he was dealing with colon cancer, I believe it was, and now he's doing well and in the final round of home run derbies. I think that's something that should be celebrated. So the home run derby, I think the format that they redid, I think is a lot better, and that's always a pretty good event. The All-Star game, it's just the All-Star game. As usual, you had a bunch of guys, your Jacob deGrom's not there due to, I don't know, he might have pitched or he might be dealing with an arm issue. Mike Trout not in the game due to injury. The Astros has several guys that, they're dealing with one thing or the other. So you have all those things going on. So some of these guys that you wind up actually seeing in the game, you're like, why are you even in this? You didn't get, nobody voted for you. Nobody voted for you. But Well, overall, I did look in. I didn't watch this incredibly closely, but some of the things I did know is that that Vladimir Guerrero home run was a mammoth shot. It's about 470 feet in the third. Mike Zunino in the sixth. This is a guy who I don't look at him as one of the better catchers in the league, but he's definitely one of the most powerful. Anytime a guy hits a no doubt shot the opposite field, that's pretty impressive. And then also, one thing I noticed, I saw Brandon Crawford, one of the best shortstops in the game, having a tremendous season. He made an error, which doesn't happen. He booted a ground ball right in the middle of the field. I think it allowed a run to score, so that was kind of surprising. Yeah, just overall, the American League, and they actually showed some numbers on this last night. It's kind of the All-Star game is like came in waves, where early on I think the American League dominated, and then the National League had like a 40-year stretch where they won like 30 out of 40, and now it's back to the American League. It comes in waves for some reason. It's kind of weird. But being especially that the baseball they went away from the All-Star game determining home field for the World Series. I mean, it goes back to any other All-Star game. It has very little competitive value, even though I think it replicates a normal baseball game more than the Pro Bowl or the NBA All-Star game do. But in the end, doesn't really get me excited. But the Home Run Derby, that's pretty good television, pretty good entertainment.
Yeah, man, I gotta agree with you. I think the most exciting part of this whole weekend was to get an All-Star event with fans again. Because you think about it, we got the All-Star game in the NBA. It didn't have fans, and you see how we felt about that, which is why are you doing it if it's not for the fans? But whatever. And then last year everything was jacked up, so. To get this event going down in Coors Field, I was excited to see the juices flowing from the Home Run Derby, to see fans there ready to get them old ball, to jam packed, loud, fans enjoying themselves. I know we're a sports show, but we dibble and we dab into like other stuff and other arenas, what might have you, and so doing this show, and I guess you rubbing off on me, I tend to start looking at stuff kind of outside of sports, but it still impacts sports. And I was looking at the crowd, I was looking at the players. I mean, you can see the true like excitement and just like for these guys to be hitting these balls in front of fans again, pause. So, like, what I mean by that is, I know fans are back for the regular season games, but for a lot of these players, just like you said, all right, I had to clear my throat. Pete Alonso, for example, he won the Home Run Derby the last time Krause was here, right? Then you take a break. Then he comes back this year and he wins again with the crowd. That matters. I know a lot of people saying, why does the crowd matter? Just play the game. That's what you're supposed to be focused on. I don't give a rip what nobody talking about. I just watched this Conor McGregor fight in Las Vegas this weekend, and let me tell you something. It was electric in that piece to have a full crowd in Las Vegas again. Fans matter. The experience is bigger when you got people there. And I think that did wonders for the excitement of the Home Run Derby, and it did wonders for the excitement of the All-Star game, right? I mean, you got these players, Ohtani, he's been a big deal. He's out here, he's doing his thing. Maybe Stephen A. Smith might not agree, but I mean, you got to talk to him about that. But, all this excitement is good for the MLB, right? We talk about America's pastime. We talk about how it's a dying sport and all that. Well, this weekend, if you was an MLB fan, you didn't feel like it was a dying sport this weekend. You felt like the sport was alive and well. And I ain't mad at that. So if like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the All-Star game. I do like the Home Run Derby though. I'm not gonna lie, I like that. I'm not the biggest fan of the All-Star game in baseball. But what I was a big fan was the excitement, how it brought all these people together, and all they cared about was what was going on the diamond. Not what was going on in the streets. What was going on in the diamond. So I was excited for that. I was happy to see it because you know what that means. Come here in a couple of months or so, we're going to get crowds for other sports. And you know what I'm talking about. So with that said, I was just excited to see the energy, the excitement around the venue the whole weekend. So, hats off to the MLB.